extraordinary match.
Very good afternoon to our sports fans in Port Harcourt. You're welcome to your latest international and local sports. My name is Sopirinye Jaja. Just watch highlight of the German Bundesliga, the only of the top 5 league that has resumed in defiance of the coronavirus pandemic, albeit behind closed doors. And Bayern beat Borussia Dortmund 1-0 in that the classical match in Germany. We'll take a look at that match and the breaking story we're getting right now as far as Nigerian sports is concerned is that the Nigerian Football Federation and Genetro have officially signed a contract agreement extension. That's coming from the NFF president, Amaju Pinnick. We'll take a look at his tweet later on. And also, there's a big rumor that the 2021 African Cup of Nations could have been shifted to 2020. So my guest today is Joshua Albert. You're welcome, Joshua.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the breaking story. NFF and Rohr agree. And if we could just look at that tweet coming out from Amaju Pinnick's end, president of the Nigerian Football Federation, it was always going to happen. But now it's just a formalization coming out from the NFF president that we've gotten a contract extension with Genetro. What's your thought on this one?
Yeah, it was something that has been long overdue, probably because of some paperwork and some terms and conditions they actually wanted to give him. But it's something that we've actually been anticipating for a very, very long time. So I think it's a welcome development, provided they keep to the terms and the conditions. I think one of the terms is supposed to be based in Nigeria, whereby you have the access to actually take a look at our local players as well too.
I mean, paid in Naira.
Paid in Naira as well too. So those are some of the conditions. So it's a welcome development. It's something that we've been aware for a long time too. So it's just a confirmation of what we've always known. Okay,
we have lots of talking points. Osimhen might be going to Napoli. We understand that deal is almost done. Odion Ighalo also is moved to Manchester United. Also, we're not certain. But let's take a look at what we have in our captions, and then we'll take them one by one.
Okay.
Let's start with the first one. Are we ready? Let's look at what do we have there. Maybe we'll start with the NFF story coming from Amaju Pinnick. His tweet officially saying that Nigerian Football Federation and Genetro have signed a contract extension. If we're ready, let's take a look at that tweet coming out from Amaju Pinnick's end. Alright, so that's the tweets. Okay, this one we're talking about Odion Ighalo anyway. This is coming from Odion Ighalo. Somebody who said, well, Ighalo can't return to China even if he doesn't get the contract extension because according to the source, it says China stopped foreign nationals from going into the country from March 28th. So Odion Ighalo is not a Chinese, so he can't, even if he doesn't have a deal, he can't travel to China, at least for now. That's what we're getting from this tweet.
Okay. And I don't know how they are going to do this. Because
okay, let's see what with this one first. We'll come to Ighalo's story first. Okay. This one is coming from Amaju Pinnick, the one we talked about earlier on. That's his Twitter handle. Says, I'm happy to announce that the NFF and the coach Genetro have concluded all contractual discussions and he will stay on as coach of the Super Eagles. We have always had confidence in his abilities and we are confident that the national team can only go higher from here. This is this afternoon. Amaju Pinnick sent out this tweet. So an agreement both parties have signed is done, is just said. What's your thoughts? Are you happy with this contract extension, Albert?
Yes, I am. For continuity, for the purpose of continuity, it's a welcome development. At least is what probably they need to do is just take him he should go for some refresher courses as well. So Rohr has done well. If you check the stats as well, since he took over the national team, I think he has done quite well. So it's a welcome development.
So it's a welcome development.
Yes.
If you're in Port Harcourt and you want to share your thoughts, our number will be on the TV screen shortly. Well, the NFF and Genetro have finally gotten an agreement. What's the next one? Maybe we'll stick around with Odion Ighalo again. This time we'll look at the captions coming out from Sky Sports, and then you look at this one. It says Ighalo no deal yet, no contract extension yet. I think. Okay, this is the story. Odion Ighalo story. But let's take a look at the tweets, the pictures, our captions, and maybe we'll just take a look at that one, and then we'll look at this one. Shenwa and Odion, no deal yet. It's still uncertain about this guy.
Yes, it is. And considering the fact that the borders have been closed now, I don't know. They'll have to. I don't know how long it's going to be closed for. You understand? And from the contract that was signed, it was supposed to. The contract was supposed to expire by the end of this month.
Yes.
Yes, but considering the pandemic and the rest of them as well too, I don't know. They will have to look. Manu said they are not willing to pay up to the amount that Shanghai is actually requesting for as well too. So they will have to come to some sort of agreement as well. But they're actually requesting for an extension of the loan deal.
Yeah.
So probably that's the line they will actually they might toe as well too.
All right, that's the confirmation. As things stands now, Manchester United striker Odion Ighalo cannot go back to Shenhua, Shanghai. China's borders are closed have been closed on since 20th of March. China suspended entry into the country to foreign nationals. About a third of foreign players in Chinese Super League cannot travel back. Let's look at the next story we have coming from our caption. All right, yes. AS Sports is reporting that the 2021 African Cup of Nations, initially scheduled to take place from January in Cameroon, will be moved to January 2022 or summer of 2022. Do you think, did you foresee this? Yes,
I actually foresaw it because it was not realistic, because if you consider everything that happened as well, it affected the calendar. So I of course I knew that this was what was likely going to happen eventually, because it affected the calendar and a lot of adjustments will have to be done as well too. So
and
there's
the
qualifiers we were even in the first phase of the qualifiers as well too. So putting all those logistics into consideration as well too, there was no way they would have been able to, the Nations Cup would have been able to hold next year. So it's the inevitable eventually has happened as well too.
One of the things from the COVID. Let's take your calls. Good afternoon. Okay, let's move to the next one if we have enough time. And this is it here. The Nigerian Football League, no deal, 4 options, Super 6, maybe playoff or play per game. This is we're not sure where we're going to go. But this is what it looks like now. Plateau United, Rivers United, Lobby Stars, Rangers, and Aimba all have this. This is what it looks like as far as the league is concerned now. Do you think Super 6 will be the best player? The best pattern to settle our league?
Super 6.
They are calling for Super 6.
Okay. Instead of cancellation of the league entirely as well.
Yes, they're asking for Super 6, and maybe we should have a neutral venue and where there'll be COVID-19 tests. You know, do you think it's possible? 50,000 per test. That's the first.
And with the restrictions as well too, and the planning and the logistics, I don't know if we'll be able to, because look at what is happening in Germany. Most times before they even go before training sessions, before a game is actually played as well, they are tested. So most times before a game is actually played, they are tested almost 11 times, and that costs money as well. So I don't know if the NFL will actually be.
Do they have the money
to do all that as well too? And considering the traveling restrictions, we have traveling, it's not interstate traveling, it's in lockdown as well too. So I don't know if that will be actually realistic to coming from our end, from their end as well too.
All right, call us at 08137469949 to share your thoughts on any of the stories we have been trending. If we have enough caption, we'll take a look at the caption and then we'll move over to something else. Yes, Man United yet to agree on Odion Ighalo. Let's take away that number so that we can look at what we have there. Man United yet to agree, no deal for Odion Ighalo yet, and he has until Sunday. They're still discussing anyway. That's what we hear.
To decide if he wants to stay at Man United, but it's not the decision is not for left. It's between his club and Manchester United as well. So they have to come to some sort of agreement. Ighalo actually wants to stay. His mind is actually in Man United, but the club is asking for a certain amount of money, which Man United feel Ighalo at this present point in time is not worth as well.
The problem is, even if there's no deal, Ighalo cannot return back to China.
Yes, for obvious reasons, because of the restriction, the ban that has been placed already for.
Then why is this club asking for so much money when you know that he cannot even? The club is asking, okay, Ighalo, come back to China. We want a new deal for you, £400,000. But yesterday, Ighalo in reality cannot even travel because of the travel ban.
They will have to come to some sort of compromise as well too, and maybe give him an exemption. You understand? If at the end of the day they are not able to come to an agreement on what they are actually offering as well too, and what the other party wants to collect as well, they'll have to. And he has between now and Sunday.
Yeah.
They have to make a decision between now and that time as well too.
Well, let's take your calls and any other stories. Good afternoon. Hello. Okay, now let's go to Germany and look at what the Bundesliga looks like, because that's the only league in action over the weekend. That's only top 5. That's only top league in Europe. There are some smaller leagues still in session, but the German Bundesliga is the only top league still in action. Let's take a look at highlights of the German Super Bundesliga, and when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the stories trending.
Haaland, and he's found him! Erling Haaland gets his 10th goal of the season. Hello everyone, welcome to an echoing Signal Iduna Park. Against all the odds, it's matchday 26. This is the Bundesliga. This is still the biggest fixture on the calendar in the Rohr region. Correct application of the DFL's medical concept for match operations in professional football, including social distancing where appropriate, is the order of the day. Extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. These two extraordinary sides hopefully will deliver today. A revered derby to remember. Let's check. Nice little flick from Julian Brandt. Hazard looks up, he's looking for Haaland, and he's found him! Erling Haaland gets his 10th goal of the season. 2,500 goals conceded now by Schalke. Not quite sure about the celebration, but the goal was very well worked. Delightful little flick. Not offside, played into space, and Haaland finished it just like he's done the 9 other goals he scored this season, with precision. Get it away. Oh, there's a good thump there, and Sané got his head in the way of Dahoud's shot. Pressure from Haaland. He's not cleared that very well. Dahoud's picked it up straight away. Brandt outside into the path of Rafael Guerrero, and it's 2 just before the break. Dortmund double their lead, and they have certainly been worth it. What a howler, but what a good lead for Dortmund at the break. Can Schalke turn it around? They'll have to keep a close eye on Brandt, who's having a great game. This is Haaland. Haaland's gone down, but play's continued. And there's an overlap. This is Torgan Hazard. First time shot. 3-0 Dortmund. 3 minutes after the restart. Goals in consecutive games for Torgan Hazard. He scored back in March on matchday 25. Against his old side, Gladbach, but look how quickly Dortmund just changed gear. Good run.
That's Haaland, one of the hottest prospects in German Bundesliga. Plays for Borussia Dortmund. He's really on fire, Haaland.
Yeah, certainly he is. He is. I think he's just like you said, the hottest prospect right now, not just in Germany, in world football right now. I think he's one of the hottest. But probably Mbappe, it might be slightly higher than him. But I think he's the next thing closest, the next big thing right now, right in world football as well too.
Watch out for this guy, Haaland. He's really on fire. Now let's stick around Nigerian football, because some coaches are not happy about the decision to use the Super 6 as a
Super
way
6 have not been
the Nigerian Football League. Let's take a look at this news report.
Abdul Maikaba, coach of Plateau United, have told Brila FM in Lagos that he's not happy with the proposal to use Super 6 playoffs, adding that his team with 49 points should not be in a playoff with a team on 39 points. Another coach who reacted to the Super 6 playoff is Benga Ogumbote of Lobby Stars, who says some teams have already played 25 games and others 24. He also says Aimba played 20 games, saying that the playoffs will be unfair to these teams. However, Plateau United coach Abdul Mekeba believes that the point per game format should be given priority and not the proposed playoff. He said the point per game system should be the first option to be considered in ending the Nigerian Football League. In European football, Napoli have contacted Lille about the availability of Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen. The Italian side wants Osimhen as replacement for Arik Malik, and Lille are demanding nothing less than 55 million euros for his release. Osimhen moved to France last summer and has contributed 18 goals with 6 assists in 38 appearances for the French club. And finally, Manchester United are yet to make an offer for Shanghai Shenhua striker Odion Ighalo. Ighalo's current deal is due to expire on Sunday.
All right, guys, let's stick around. Coach is not happy with the Super Six, and Osimhen might be going to Napoli. Almost done. We don't have enough time, but Albert, let's start with Osimhen to Napoli. Is it the right move for him? We thought he was going to go to the Premier League, but now Italy looks like he's going to go to Italy.
I think Napoli will be a good club for Osimhen, because if you consider the strikers that are about leaving the club as well too, he's going to have enough playing time in Napoli. I feel he's going to have enough playing time in Napoli, comparing to, like, say he goes to a club like Liverpool or Manchester United as well too. His chances will have been limited in those clubs. So it's better.
How about the coach there now? Gattuso is the coach at Napoli.
Gattuso, yes, he's a proven coach as well too. I think he was the coach of AC Milan. He took them to. He didn't do too well. Yes, he didn't do very well. But he still has something to offer as well too. He's a proven coach as well too. So I think it's a very good deal for Osimhen. Napoli will actually give him a very good platform to actually showcase his talents. Yeah,
good evening,
it's a welcome development.
Oh, good evening.
Yeah, you're on to RSTV. Osimhen to Napoli. What's your thoughts?
Hello, Mr. Jaja. Good evening.
Good evening.
Please, I want to talk about Ighalo.
Okay.
Yeah, if I am in a position to advise him, I think I'll tell the guy to go back to China.
For the money?
China, considering, his former club, considering his age, he's very club brother.
Manchester United are yet.
Age is not on his side, and football is all about money. So the opportunity has showcased itself. He has to grab it now. The next 3, 4, 5 years, he will be playing again. So he should go to China and grab the money.
All right, thank you very much, and that's much we can take. Albert, thank you. On a final note, what will you want Ighalo to go? To go for the money in China, £400,000 a week, or stay in Man U for the name?
I think you should go. Personally, my opinion, you should go back. You should go to China, because if you consider, Man U don't really value him that much, because at the end of the day, Man U eventually probably go for a Harry Kane, or I even heard they have interest in Dembele as well too. As at this point, he's even the second choice, even without Rashford playing at the moment. Rashford is currently injured. He's still not the first choice striker. So by the time they now add probably the likes of a Harry Kane or a Dembele, he might end up being a third choice striker, so he might not have the playing time to even really showcase himself as well. So
right,
the best bet for him is just to go back to China.
Sorry for that. We don't have enough time. Thank you very much. It's almost 6 o'clock. Albert, thank you very much for being our guest today. Hope you can do this on Saturday, 12 p.m. for the latest updates. My name is Sopirinye. Catch you on Keep Scoring. Thanks to my team, Victor Isgai. Thank you very much. Igonima, thanks very much. And to all our esteemed viewers, thank you very much for sticking around with RSTV.
Crowds and atmosphere and excitement. But nonetheless,